So before online dating was a thing and social media, something that I used to do to try to meet Pinais from my home would be to grab my home phone and dial +63 plus a random local number there in the Philippines. Um, I already knew that when it was nighttime here, it would be daytime there. So what I would do was to wait till night fell so I could grab my phone and start dialing randomly. Uh, so in the hopes that somebody would answer my call. And guess what? Some people did. So let's talk about what I experienced doing this. So I remember that one of the first people that I could get a hold of when I did this was this lady there. I think she lived here in Manila, and I remember asking her if there was a possibility for her to maybe come here to my country. And all I remember her saying was that she didn't have any money. So, of course, I ended the call and moved on to the next one. The next person I tried to reach was actually a little rude. So she answered the phone, and I asked her if she was interested in getting to know a foreigner, and she right off the bat told me, "No, I'm not interested." And I told her, "Why not?" "Because I'm not interested." Yeah, that she was the rudest one I had called, but I mean it's normal. Like, who? Why would you give personal information to a stranger on the other side of the world? Who would do that? But however, let me tell you what happened on the next call I did. So again, I dialed randomly, and this cute little voice answered the phone. Unfortunately, I don't remember the name of this girl, but oh my god, she was so sweet. Like, I could tell that if we ever met in person, we would have a great time. Unfortunately, it never happened. So this is how it went. So I dialed this phone, she picked up the phone, and then I began asking her a few questions. Uh, and the questions were, one of them was, how can I reach the Philippines? Specifically, if it was possible to reach the Philippines by boat from Vietnam. And I remember she put me on hold so she could go ask her mother. And yeah, I could hear her talking in the background with her mother. I didn't understand. However, I did hear that she mentioned the word barco, which is boat in Spanish. Okay, so yeah, I remember she saying something, something, something barco to her mother, and then she came back and told me that no, it was not possible to get to the Philippines by boat. My next question was regarding an incident that had happened in the 90s, the eruption of Mount Pinatubo. Before calling her, I had just watched this documentary, and oh my god, it was crazy. Like, from what I saw in this documentary, this volcano created this big mushroom like an atomic bomb, and people were running for their lives, trying to escape the deadly gas and ashes that this volcano had produced. So, oh my god, so it was crazy what I saw. And of course, I asked her, and I remember that she started laughing because she said that it was funny how I pronounced Pinatubo. She told me that. She was like, "Oh, I'm laughing because the way you say Pinatubo." Like, okay, you find it funny, so okay. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but still, she laughed. So that was I guess that was a good sign. And After asking that, I remember that in that documentary, I had also watched that the United States had a base near there, and I asked her again if the base was still there, and again she goes to her mom, asks her, and comes back to me and tells me that no, the base isn't there, and I assume that it had to do with the eruption of Pinatubo. But like I said, she was very like I said, she was very friendly to me. She accepted me. She accepted my call, and I remember that I called her more than once. Like I called her once, and then I called her a few minutes later, and I remember she telling me, "Oh, aren't you interested in knowing me or or some stuff like that?" I don't remember, but like she was totally open for the idea of we exchanging our emails. Like I said, back then social media wasn't a thing, so the only ways to communicate was through email. Maybe there was a social media. I remember that in some other parts of Asia they used to use this social media that doesn't exist anymore called Friendster, but whatever. Unfortunately, we never exchanged emails, which I totally regret because we would have added each other, and eventually we would have added each other on some sort of social media. So when the time came, I would meet her. Like I can tell that she would have been a genuine person to meet in person, but then again, we never know. So yeah, that's how I used to try to meet Pinais from home. I would grab my phone, my home phone, dial a random number there in the Philippines with the hopes that someone answered, and it kind of worked. Yeah, it kind of worked. I will never forget that person. Like I said, I don't.